Hello and welcome. This video is a follow-up to my last 3 videos on the channel, the Terminal Redux, Minecraft, and Meditation ones. I want to discuss the videos themselves, how I feel about the videos now, the content within the videos, and the reception. I do this because I believe in the power of reflection and returning to the past. I don't want my channel to be a series of disconnected videos and essays, even though the topics might range considerably, but I want it to be more of an ongoing, continuous project or catalog. As far as the videos go, I think the Terminal Redux one has some very rough editing, particularly with the song clips. I personally put video essays on and usually don't physically watch them, so using song clips that are very hard to understand without seeing the quote itself wouldn't even be something I would enjoy as a watcher. I also don't love using random pictures I found to represent the ideas in the essay, but I honestly don't know what else to put. This is, admittedly, something I may struggle with going forward. Many essayists use their faces in the videos, and I generally don't find this engaging, nor do I really want to record myself. Others in media analysis style videos will basically use many clips from the thing itself. I got to do this for the Minecraft video, and that was really fun. It made editing a lot easier too. Going forward though, especially for more general essays that don't focus on some particular visual thing, it may be tough to have something engaging in the background. I'll have to get creative, and if anyone has any suggestions, I would love to hear them. The Minecraft video is one that I'm a lot happier on, editing wise, because I think it's a lot more streamlined. However, my narration was a bit lacking in energy and rhythmic consistency, which I would like to try and improve for next time. I'm assuming many people use these videos primarily for their audio, so I need to make sure that is top notch. A better microphone would be a great purchase going forward. My meditation video is something I have few complaints about. It did what it needed to do. As an update to this video, expectedly, I have not meditated every day. So far, I have meditated for 52 days, amounting to about 7 hours. I was very consistent in September, really started falling off in October, and have been pretty bad in November so far. When I made the vow, I saw consistent meditation as a kind of panacea for mental health and authenticity. I thought that as long as I was consistent, I'd basically become enlightened. Obviously, this was a very naive view, and when my graduate program got very difficult in October, my mental health started to spiral, and that really threw a wrench in my outlook, along with just the sheer fact that I was very busy and often too tired to meditate and stay awake. My mental health has not gotten much better, it's really gotten worse, and I think that I've realized that meditation is only a tool, not a fix-all. For myself, it has to be coupled with other intentional things. I've begun to incorporate more of these things into my life, and I expect to get back on track soon. Another update will eventually come. Now, I'd like to talk about the content of these videos themselves and some of my own thoughts about the philosophies within. I think my main problem with Heidegger's early philosophy of authenticity is one that I basically addressed. It lends itself too well to a willing, resolute subject. This is intuitively appealing and does line up with other philosophers' thoughts on the subject, particularly Nietzsche, but I like the later version better, and it's one that I definitely would like to explore more. For the essays I covered in the Minecraft video, I think one of the more problematic aspects of Heidegger's thought is that the dichotomy between primitive and modern technology is not so strict. I wouldn't claim that it's not warranted because I do think it works for illustrative purposes, but through my own thoughts and discussions with others, I believe it also raises many other unanswerable questions, largely related to the ambiguity of language and categories. Many concerns about the degree of intent to mastery, the degree of exploitation and storage, etc. occur to me. I don't think these things are fully revealed under either challenging forth or bringing forth. I think it's a question of how much and to what extent. I also wonder how much his philosophy gets influenced by his nostalgia, basically, for the simple life, or a vibe he got when he was young. It also seems to me like enframing might be kind of genetic or natural. These are very undeveloped ideas though. I'm also more pessimistic than Heidegger is about the rule of enframing. Since he wrote these essays, it has only gotten more domineering and totalizing. Mountains are leveled, landscapes ruined, factory farms enlarged. People are no longer people. They're part of the labor force, part of your network, part of your followers list. Time isn't ours, something to be lived. It's merely something to spend, another resource at our disposal. Our world has gotten so much more superficial. Knowledge, while so great, is also incredibly specialized, and the average person is unable to engage with most topics of interest. Information is delivered in both shorter and more surface-level content, not to mention the amount of misinformation in the mix. With AI now emerging as a real force in our world, not only taking a heavy part in the production of misinformation or shallow content, it has the potential to drastically alter the fabric of society. People are so caught in the means to control it, which is itself a technological act. The will to master, the perception of the world as threat or a resource is more potent than it ever has been. What kind of idea or insight or artwork or philosophy or anything could change the path that we're on? I also got some comments on the videos. One, on the Minecraft video, took issue with my using Heidegger to explore Minecraft. You can guess the kind of angle that it took. As a new YouTuber and a naive person generally, I really didn't anticipate getting negative comments. At first I got scared that I was somehow evil for discussing Heidegger's ideas. After 5 seconds or so, though, I realized that this isn't the case. A few helpful comments reminded the user who left this comment why this way of thinking isn't exactly legitimate. Also, if using Heidegger to make arguments immediately delegitimizes anything said, then much of academic philosophy should now be thrown in the trash. Plus, I don't think the person watched more than the first 3 minutes of my video. People who did watch the video would know that I didn't argue that Minecraft should go back to the good old days, as the comment said. Now, obviously, I probably shouldn't engage with stuff like this at all, but I genuinely hope this person is able to be more thoughtful in the future and actually watch the videos they end up commenting on. Speaking of actually watching videos, here's another comment. Good video. Your reading of Heidegger is good, but I have a complaint. Your reading of Minecraft strikes me as off the mark. There's a reason we tend towards something like industrialization. The mechanics of the game push us toward that. The endgame of Minecraft is total automation and zero threat from enemies, which means no more dwelling. I agree that the first part of the game is enchantingly dwelling-like, but there's only one way to go from there, and that's realizing that everything has a value as standing reserve. One might say, the problem is that Minecraft is a deeply anti-Heideggerian nightmare, which incentivizes you to ruthlessly exploit all of the magical beauty it gives you at the beginning. I loved this game back in the day, and I felt the same things that you felt toward it, but the fact of the matter is that raising cattle in a nurturing and cultivating way is both boring and inefficient. That's not the player's fault. The dragon exists only to be killed, the ruins only to be plundered, the nether only to be tamed, etc. I think that Heidegger would probably say that no computer game could possibly remain true to dwelling and be exciting, because games are strictly representations of beings, and beings are only exciting if they give access to being, which representations cannot do, at least not directly. Still, I really enjoyed the video, and I think your take is very thoughtful and well considered. Thanks. First off, I love this comment. This person not only watched the whole thing, but engaged with it thoughtfully, and took the time to comment, and respected it enough to disagree. It was awesome. I hope to see many more comments like this in the future, and hopefully from this person on this very video. I've thought a lot about this comment, and I think one good way to engage with it would be to discuss where I agree and where I disagree. I think their point that the mechanics of the game point us to challenging forth and the revelation of the standing reserve is interesting. In the video, I left out the achievement system. This was a sketchy exclusion, and if considered, is a kind of direct counterpoint to my argument. It's a facet of the game that directly incentivizes challenging forth. I would still argue that it's kind of an exterior reward system, and you can very well play the game without it, but it's there. Also, within the game, every resource and item and entity is non-unique. Blocks and mobs and villagers and biomes are largely indistinguishable from each other. Minecraft comes to you standardized, and everything within it is perfectly storable and extractable. I also agree that Heidegger would say that no computer game could possibly remain true to dwelling. Ultimately, Minecraft, and computer games in general, are artifacts of the dominion of enframing. They are created by people who view the world as standing reserve. The people who make the game, programmers and software engineers, have chosen a profession that is ultimately about control and will exertion, programming. So of course Minecraft couldn't remain true to dwelling. Nothing in this world can. As far as my disagreement, I think the comment in the last part fails to acknowledge that Minecraft as a work of art isn't just a mere representation of beings. It itself is a being that can be engaged with meaningfully, and opens up a world in and of itself. And this is where I think my broader disagreement with the comment comes from. It seems like, to an extent, the commenter wrote this comment from an enframing-like viewpoint. They say things like, there's only one way to go from there, and that's realizing that everything has a value as standing reserve. And raising cattle in a nurturing and cultivating way is both boring and inefficient. That's not the player's fault. The dragon exists only to be killed, the ruins only to be plundered, the nether only to be tamed, etc. In a trivial sense, this isn't true. I pointed out examples that show that this isn't the only way to experience the game. But this is the exact thing I described, where enframing covers up modes of revealing more generally. Enframing posits itself as the only real way to understand the world, as the only way to go, as the only thing to do. The commenter says, the endgame of Minecraft is total automation and zero threat from enemies. I disagree. I think enframing makes us believe this, and it may seem very natural to anyone listening, but think again. The game doesn't end when this happens. In fact, the creators deliberately add more and more powerful enemies and bosses, more mysterious structures, etc., to combat this very idea. The most recent boss enemy, the Warden, is deliberately too powerful to be killed. He exists to scare you, to give you fear, to make you feel like you're not the master of the world, that some things are beyond you. The goal of Minecraft isn't to master the world and go for efficiency and stop exploring. There is no goal, even with the achievement system. In the making of this video, I was actually able to rediscover some of that magic for myself. I'd say my final point of disagreement is summed up by my disagreement with their statement that Minecraft is a deeply anti-Heideggerian nightmare. As I said above, Minecraft is an artifact of enframing. Enframing is the dominating way modern humanity interacts with the world, how the world is revealed to us. And as I say above, this is only getting worse. It's becoming more and more difficult to dwell, to be authentic, to have a meaningful life. And yet, some of my, and many other people's, most cherished and fun memories and experiences were still based on this wonderful game. The fact that Minecraft is able to allow modern man to still have a quote, enchantingly dwelling-like experience at the beginning, despite Minecraft ultimately being a prime example of modern technology, and despite the fact that we are caught in the grip of enframing, is a very powerful testament both to Minecraft's status as a work of art, and as something that is still able to lend itself to meaningful, bringing forth style interaction. So I guess ultimately I disagree with the comment, though again I'm still very thankful for the commenter for engaging with the essay. That really means a lot, and I hope they feel the same about my engagement. I also look forward to a reply from them. As for the future of the channel, I definitely want to do more philosophy videos. I am an economics grad student, so I do think it would be fun to make some videos about that. And since I love math and still have to do a lot of it, there will probably be videos on that as well. Look forward to those. Specifically, I have a video on the difference in differences method that should be out very, very soon. My biggest challenges going forward will be to make my videos higher quality, production-wise, while being creative enough to find a format that I don't hate editing-wise. I have a few thoughts, but this will likely be an ongoing project. As I just said, I am a graduate student, and my career just evolved into one of the busier and more independent stages, where I'm basically trying to find my own research avenue while still taking classes. Needless to say, I've been prioritizing this aspect of my life to a large extent, and will likely continue to do so for a while. Basically, videos may be sparse for a while and less meaty, but they will come. Thank you, and this ends my reflection video.